just continue watching, subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it with your friends. I know I'm not the funniest or the prettiest or the bestest, but I try, okay? After this video is done, I just want to make sure that you guys please comment on what you guys want me to do, because whenever I do my makeup, I draw a blank because I want to do this, that. I need you guys to help me out. Just message any of my social medias, fucking comment on the comment section down below. Tell me what you guys want to see and I'll do it. No problem. I will do that shit. That fucking moment you tell me. Okay, maybe not that moment, but as soon as possible, I will do it for you. Okay? Thank you guys for watching. Again, subscribe, like, comment. See you guys. Alright, so we're going to jump into my e.l.f. Illuminating Face Primer. I always use this just with my hands. It's very easy to use. I love the way that it feels on my skin. It's very shiny. And I love the way that it shows that luminosity through my foundation a little bit. It makes it sort of dewy. I really much enjoy it. Now I'm going into my color correcting kit, which is from Hard Candy. It's called the Sheer Envy Conceal and Correct palette. I'm using the green shade because of my pimples. Ew, gross, I know. But I'm using the green shade to help with my redness relief. It's very sheer. I don't really like it. I'm also using the yellow shade in the palette that corrects dark circles. This bitch does not sleep, let me tell you. I'm using it on my forehead, my nose, under my eyes. I'm using it on my chin and my cupid's bow. I use this new, it's not a real, I guess, beauty blender. It's like a wannabe beauty blender, but it didn't really like the way that it was working with the Hard Candy Conceal and Correct palette. It was making it sort of chunky. Maybe it's just because the Hard Candy palette is a little bit old, but I don't really like it that much. I'm probably not going to use it. But now I'll move on to my Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer in light beige 03. I know it's way darker than my skin tone, but it's very medium to full coverage. Like, that shit fucking covers my pimples. It helps out a bitch with her mistakes on her face. I know it's not my color right now, but it actually lightens up a little bit. It oxidizes. Let me tell you, this bitch is lightweight. It's oil free, long wearing, water resistant, and sweat proof. The shit I recommend for people that are in high school because, you know, in PE, that bitch be annoying when you have your foundation on and you're running and that shit, you know, sweats off. So then I move on to my Dermacol Film Studio makeup cover. I still don't know what shade it is. I'm trying to figure it out for you guys, but it doesn't really tell me on here. I use this for my concealer because it actually helps lighten up my foundation a little bit. I'm using my little Artiste brush just to mix it in. It created some harsh lines, but I'm going to go back in with my beauty blender, wannabe beauty blender, just to fix it up a little bit, just to make sure I don't have those harsh lines everywhere. Gotta make sure this bitch is blended. Also make sure that you get under your chin and make sure that you blend out your foundation. Now I'm moving into the Art of Beauty concealer palette by Style Essentials. This is the Conceal and Correct. It helps me conceal, you know, around my face. I'm using the darkest shade that's in there. I think I bought this from Ross or something, and it's the only cream dark shade that I have to help me carve out my face. So a bitch uses what she needs to use, you know, on a budget. So she's using it. I'm making sure that shit is blended out because I don't want it to be too dark. And it wasn't too dark for my face, but it sort of just, you know, blended out, sheared out a little bit. But it's okay. I go back in with my powder for for my translucent powder to put under my eyes. This is by e.l.f. I personally, I'm sort of 50-50 on it. It's very sheer, don't get me wrong. The powder does go on, but I have to keep on reapplying and reapplying because it goes on like butter. It soaks into your skin and it does not come out and it does not show through. Like, maybe it's good for, you know, putting all over your face, but I tried making it a baking powder and it was not working for me because I had to keep on pouring more and more of the powder out. But, you know, a bitch does what she need to do. Now I go into my Anastasia light to medium contour palette. I'm using the darkish, well, I think I'm using all of the shades actually. I just mix them all through. I just start contouring everywhere, on my forehead, on my cheeks, under my chin. I actually contour my nose a little bit. I know, I never contour my nose, but I'm contouring my nose, making sure that bitch is contour as fuck. And I go in with a little bit of a littler brush than the one that I had before, just so, you know, blend it out a little bit. I'm putting on a little bit of blush, and this is the e.l.f. blush, and it's in shade Pink Passion. This is a very, very, very pink shade. It makes you look like you blushing for days, girl. So then I move on to my Jeffree Star Beauty Killer palette. I actually use the color Courtney just to make a little bit of a base color. I put it all over my lid. I know it looks a little messy, but I promise, bitch comes through. So I use that shade Courtney and I go all over my lid. And I'm blending it out. I'm making sure it's all over the lid. I know it looks a little messy, I'm sorry, but trust me, bitch comes through. So then I go into more of the Courtney color and I put it all over my lid again because my brush that I had actually had a little bit of a darker color on it and it was turning it a little bit darker than I wanted it to. So I just went in again, cleaned off my brush. I'm now going into Black Rainbow because I wanted to make that dimension in my eyes, make sure that V is a little bit dark, you know. So I just keep on blending, making sure it looks right. I'm using a brush that I literally only use for the color black. Any dark colors, any black type of colors, I use this brush. So I saw that it kept on turning a little bit gray, so I went in even harder with that black. Just kept on putting it into that inner corner. And I just keep on going around. I know it looks a little messy right now because I just kept on going in and in and in. So I blended it out a little bit with that blending brush and blending it in a little bit with Courtney. But then I saw that it looks a little bit too harsh, so I need another blending color. So I go in with Vanity. It's like a very, very dark purplish black shade. It looks sort of brown as well. I'm using that sort of like a transition color. I put it in. It's working very well. I like the way that it came out. It helped blend the colors very well. So then I move on actually, and I found this Naked Cosmetics loose pigment eyeshadow. It's in the color Mother Nature, and I didn't even know I had this, and let me tell you, girl, I swatched it and that shit was beautiful. So I was like, I need to use it in my makeup tutorial today. So I put it on to the center of my lids. I didn't want to cut my crease because that shit was pigmented as fuck. So I just went in with a flat brush and just started creating sort of like my own little effect. So I saw that the shade was darker, so I just went through all my palettes and I was trying to find a shade that would match the sort of sheen that Naked Cosmetics color came out with. So I go into my MAC cream eyeshadow palette. I go into the green color and I realize that it's way too green and it doesn't really look that right. So then I go into that blue that's right next to it and I mix it and I keep on mixing and mixing and mixing and it becomes like a teal color. I really love how it came out because it matched the color on my lid perfectly. I know it looks a little harsh, but I promise I blend it out. So then I start using my other blending brush, the same one that I use for Courtney, mixing in all the dark colors, and same with that. I use it just to blend it out a little bit, and I make sure that I round the corners, if that makes sense, to make sure that it's not just a harsh green line. I blend it in with the dark colors. Bitch was feeling herself. Get it. So then I move on to my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit. And it's actually in sugar kit, and I use the marshmallow color for my inner corners, under my eyebrows. I love the way that it looks. It has like a goldish sheen to it, but it's still very white and very pigmented. For my highlight, I actually use all the colors: marshmallow, gumdrop, butterscotch, and starburst. I use all of those just to make sure that my highlight be poppin', because I love Anastasia Beverly Hills. Their highlighters are amazing. I make sure that I put it all on my cheekbones, my nose, and my cupid's bow. So I go and I start putting on my mascara. My mascara is actually the L'Oreal Paris Voluminous Curved Brush. It's in the color, regular black. And I love the way that it curls my lashes sort of for me. It's very pigmented. I love it so much. I compared it to the Better Than Sex mascara. I know, but it's so beautiful and it's so pigmented. I love the way that it comes out on my eyelashes. I put on multiple I know I'm not the only girl that puts on multiple swatches on your eyes, on your eyelashes of the mascara, because that shit is pigmented as fuck, and that shit makes my eyelashes curl, and it makes them more longer than they're supposed to be. So I just keep on going in and going in and going in. I know my eyelashes are already long enough, so when I put on this mascara, that shit makes them longer, and I love it. Okay, so next we're gonna jump into my ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip color in Hutch. It's a very deep purple berry shade, and I knew it would look perfect with this look because it's already so dark and so beautiful. I didn't want to do a light color just to make sure that the eyes had their own moment. No, I wanted to make sure that I was beat for the gods and I was ready to go out and freaking conquer the world. That's how I wanted to look. So I put on the shade. I love the way that it looks. It matches it pretty good because the shade Courtney turned a little bit purple from Vanity. So it goes with it perfectly. I put on those eyelashes and it complemented the look so perfect. My highlight was popping, my eyelashes were popping, everything was popping. Thank you. What's up, you guys? I just wanted to say thank you very much for your love and your support. Thank you for the followers that followed me on Instagram, and thank you for the people who subscribe to my channel and actually like my videos. This is the finished look. I really love it. I never ever done green shadow like this before. I found one of these like little shimmers in my makeup and I didn't even know that I had it, so I'm glad that I found it because I really love this look. I really loved how it came out. I love it how it looks with the lipstick. It sort of looks like a goth Christmas. That's how I see it. But I just want to say thank you, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. Like and subscribe to my channel. Deuces.